That's the bane of our existence. The bane of our existence. Is that even the right English? I feel like that's not. It's the opposite of what it should mean.
That's the reason you do this, I guess.
So as a new teacher, like it's probably fresh on your mind, like what were shocks to you, what you wish you knew before you came to Hong Kong? Can you share with our potential teachers who might be coming to Hong Kong, like things you wish you knew?
Sure. So in terms of lifestyle, I'll start with lifestyle. So compared to the mainland, at least, and the UK, Hong Kong's upfront costs are quite high when it comes to renting an apartment. So what I wish I'd known is that when we rented the apartment, we had to pay like 2 months deposit, 1 month's rent in advance, and the agency fee, which is usually about half a month's rent. And so we had to make sure we had that available in our first month. So what I would say to new teachers is bring a lot of cash, because Hong Kong actually relies on cash quite a lot. So bring enough cash to cover you for at least 3 months rent and your costs for living as well. So, and make sure that you can withdraw money from a local ATM as well.
Yes, very important.
Yes.
Did you have any problems? Is that why you reminded them of that?
Well, luckily we already had an HSBC account, and there's HSBC in Hong Kong, so we didn't think we'd have too many problems. But so we checked what banks were in Hong Kong and which ATMs you could take money out of. So for the finance side, I would definitely recommend doing your research and just making sure that you have enough money in cash for at least the first month until you get paid.
I agree. That's really important, because Hong Kong's a great place to be when you have money.
Yes, exactly. And the first month is always hard because you're waiting for your first salary, your first pay, So when it comes to money, just make sure that you have enough, because Hong Kong it's like a long-term savings thing, isn't it? You've got to make sure you have enough cash, and you will get it back. It just takes a little bit of time.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah. Feel about the house searching process, because I think that's also a big thing for our teachers. Like, how did you look for houses? Do you have any tips about that?
So I did ask around, and we found that the best app to use was, I think it's Square Foot, and is it 58 HSC?
House 28. HSC 28.
HSC 28, thank you. So we use those two apps, and fortunately it's all in English, which is great. So you can, search the areas, you can search by size. What I didn't realize before I came is that there are apartment complexes that have a clubhouse, which include a gym and a swimming pool, and the rent for those apartments tend to be a bit higher because obviously you're paying for these facilities. So if you want something that's quite higher standards, but the apartment size is going to be a little bit smaller, then you can go for places that have the clubhouse for the additional security and the facilities. But if you're looking for something maybe a bit cheaper, that's a little bit bigger, but you don't mind it being a little bit older, then you can go for apartments that don't have the clubhouse option. And actually on those apps, you've got the option for clubhouse. So it's best to sort of just check, that box and see if it's something that you do want. For example, this year we've got a place with a clubhouse, but to be honest, I would be quite happy to go for somewhere a little bit older and a little bit bigger, just to have that bit of extra space. And of course, space in Hong Kong is quite rare. Like you need to set your expectations when you come to Hong Kong, because space is limited. So you just got to set your expectations and say, okay, where I'm going to live is going to be a bit smaller, but it doesn't mean you're going to be living in that place for years. So just because your first place is smaller, the next year you could move somewhere bigger. And also another thing that I didn't realize is that Hong Kong apartments usually come unfurnished. So in the UK, they can be furnished or unfurnished, but in the mainland, they usually are furnished. And Hong Kong is unfurnished. So that's something else just to think about, especially with your budget. You might need to buy a TV, a sofa, a bed, curtains. And again, on the app, you can also tick the furnished or unfurnished box as well. So that's just something else to think about that I didn't realize before.
Yeah, that's a good reminder. Yeah, because we do have some furnished apartments, but a lot of them are unfurnished.
Yes.
And so that is an investment when you first come in. Yeah. And I like what you said. It's like, you know, have that mindset of I'm not going to live here forever. This is temporary, and then I'm going to move later as I like save up more money.
Yes, exactly.
And that's helpful.
And the good thing is in Hong Kong, it doesn't matter if your place is smaller because you don't have to stay there like a lot. There's so much to explore in Hong Kong. You know, we're only in the apartment in the evenings, and then at the weekends, you know, we're out, we're hiking, we're exploring, we're taking the MTR to new places or to some tourist hotspots. So the good thing is, even if your apartment is small, you don't have to spend a lot of time in it. There are so many places to go and see in Hong Kong. We love parks and nature, and there's so much of that in Hong Kong.
Yeah,
you know,
very true.
Yeah, and the weather's good for it too.
Oh yeah, all year round.
Yeah,
I think this is a time when all my friends are like winter blues. You know, it's like cold and snowing, and Hong Kong's just like perfect.
This is like summer in the UK, so I don't mind. My colleagues are asking me, "Aren't you cold with just your jumper?" And I'm like, "Actually, no. This is really warm for me because I'm from the UK."
Yeah, that's lovely.
You know, and that's another thing I have to remind people. I didn't pack many winter clothes because I thought Hong Kong was hot all year round. So I packed like 2 jumpers. But when you come to Hong Kong, just do bring some trousers, some jumpers, some little jackets, because it can get chilly in the evenings.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, because I think like places that are very cold, they have central heating, but Hong Kong's never cold enough for that. And so if you're never warm enough, then you would just be cold all the time.
Yes.
And that's why like Hong Kong people are wearing like down jackets when it's, you know, 15 degrees outside.
Yeah, and they're looking at me and I've just got a jumper.
Yeah, look at me.
We're dressed for 2 different seasons.
But yeah, this is like the season where Hong Kong people are like, this is our winter time, you know, so we're going to like take out our winter fashion.
Yeah, exactly. So it's something, if you are sensitive to the cold, you know, bring something like warm if you're going to be here over the winter months.
Yes.
You know,
that's a good
And in the summer, luckily you've got aircon, so that's something.
Yeah, Hong Kong summers can get pretty hot and humid, but everywhere has AC, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Just stay in.
Yeah, no, that is really good to have. So fortunately, you're prepared for that.
Yeah, that's true. Those are really good tips. Like, can you think about anything else you think would be helpful for our new teachers or just arriving to Hong Kong?
Okay, so when you come to Hong Kong, the first thing you're going to need is a SIM card and an octopus card. So you can get SIM cards at 7-Eleven at the airport. You can get them for a week, 30 days. And then after a month, as soon as we got our Hong Kong ID cards, we then changed our SIM cards into permanent contracts, basically. And then we also got the octopus card from the airport as well. So these are just some essential things that you need, you know, straight off the bat.
Okay. What's an octopus card for those who don't know?
So an octopus card is basically your pass for all of the public transport systems, the MTR, the buses. You can also use it to pay for things in goods and shops and restaurants as well. So it's basically everything that you need in one little card.
Yeah. And now I think you can put it on your digital wallet too on your phone.
You can. Yes, you can.
Depending on what phone you have.
That's right. I think either an iPhone or a Samsung. I don't have either, so I've still got the physical cards, you know. And they're pretty easy to top up. You can use the app to top up via bank transfer or FPS, fast payment service. So it's quite easy to top up.
I am so impressed, Kirsty. I feel like, how did you adapt so fast to Hong Kong? Like, did you Google a lot? Like, did you watch YouTube videos? Like, how did you get all this information and like acclimate it so quickly?
Yes, research.
Okay.
I also had a friend already living here as well. So we basically just blasted him with questions, you know, asked him so many questions over WhatsApp. So I basically asked people who lived here and Googled research and asked Eureka. Obviously, you definitely asked Eureka for information. I think I asked you so many questions before I came.
And really good questions.
Yeah.
I was like, Kirsty is very organized and well prepared. And
I think that's because from my experience of living abroad, you know, you just have to know these things before you go. And I think with the mainland, you know, there were certain like payment systems and transportation and cards that I needed. So I just sort of took that information and brought it with me and realized, okay, I need to know how to get these things. So research and asking questions absolutely is essential.
Yeah, for sure. Like I was quite impressed because I think you guys moved over here and very quickly you're like, this is my location and we found a flat and like we're signing our lease, and it was like all so smooth and fast. But you did a lot of research before that.
We did, and you can use English in Hong Kong as well. Like the agency we spoke to, they spoke English, which really helped. In the mainland, we had to rely on people to help us with all of these things. But in Hong Kong, you can do it by yourself. I mean, you can ask for help, but because we knew that we could use English and used English to communicate with everybody, it just made the process so much easier. But if we weren't sure or anything, then we would ask.
Yeah, and we're always here for you. Like if you had any questions, we have our trainers and a support team to make sure you guys are all okay.
Yes.
But you thrived so quickly. I was really impressed. I was like, wow, you guys are just settled. You don't need us that much.
I think for us, because we'd done it before in a different country, you know, a different location, it helped that we just got on with it. But for new teachers, I would definitely suggest like ask about every step of the way, ask how to rent, ask for the apps that you need, just ask questions because there are people with the answers,
right?
You know, and they're never too busy to you know help. So definitely ask.
Yeah, we want everyone to be good and thriving. And like my worst nightmare is if someone's struggling and then we don't know about it, because then we can't help.
That's true. I think people tend to think, oh, if I ask for help, maybe it'll be a sign of weakness, or they think I can't handle it. But to be honest, I've realized that asking for help is essential and needed, you know, especially when it comes to money, because Hong Kong is an expensive city. And sometimes, you know, if your salary doesn't go as far as you think it should or it is, you know, the good thing about Eureka is you can get some extra work if you need it. And that's really been helpful for me. Yeah, that's definitely.
Yeah, it's so true. Thanks for promoting Eureka for us.
Anytime.
Yeah, because we like have part-time jobs, after-school jobs, and we just try to really take care of our teachers as much as we can.
That's been really helpful for me as well. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are our treasures, like good teachers who care about students. Are there any other tips you have to help new teachers adjust quickly to Hong Kong or to a new culture?
I think, especially for Hong Kong, because it's such a huge expat community, it can sometimes be hard to find like close friends like immediately, because in some of the schools you might be the only net teacher, or there might just be one other who's been here for years and, you know, doesn't need a new best friend or something. But what I would say is don't give up, don't lose heart. It takes time to settle into a place. You can't move to a place and immediately expect to be settled or immediately expect to be happy. It takes some time. And I think patience is really important when it comes to this process. You need patience, you need compassion, and you just need to be kind to yourself. So Facebook has a lot of good support groups. So I've joined a hiking group, I've joined a group that loves dogs and goes out for walks with dogs. You can find friends over the internet, and also going out as well. You can meet people. But what I would say is just don't expect to jump right in and have like a huge group of friends from the beginning. You know, it takes time to form and build close relationships. Yeah. What I would do is when you're at work, you know, communicate with the people you're at work with, you know, be friendly. You know, just ask them how the day is, or ask them questions about Hong Kong, you know, ask them where are the good places to eat, where would they suggest they go at the weekends. And then bit by bit, you'll start to build up this knowledge base of places to go, things to do. You know, so I would just say it takes time. I agree. Every place is different. You know, when I was in the third tier city up in northern China, all we had was each other at the school. So that was my friendship base. Hong Kong is completely different from that. I don't have like a close friendship group here, but I have people that I know, people that I see in different areas. And I just think it teaches you to stand on your own 2 feet and get yourself out your comfort zone and go and find out these places, go and meet these people. So I always say patience is the key. Yeah, that's really good advice and encouragement too. I actually had the same struggle when I moved from the mainland back to Hong Kong 5 years ago, because we had such a close, tight-knit community there. And like you said, it's like we just had each other. So we did everything together and you just relied on each other. They were the only people who spoke English with you, you know? And here, everyone is a lot busier, I'd say. But at the same time, being a big city and a very safe city, I also found it really easy to meet people because there's like all the meetup groups, the Facebook groups, hiking groups, just social dining groups. There's like, there's something for everyone. There's like sports groups, badminton groups. And so it's really about board game groups. So I've tried all those things to meet community, and it did take time. But after time, I met some really amazing people during my time here. And I did realize like Hong Kong people, because everyone's so busy, because Hong Kong's like
the most expensive city to live in the world in 2024, based on when I Googled earlier. And so everyone's working really hard. And we work really hard, and then we play hard. And, and so like everyone's quite preoccupied with their lives, but they're actually really kind. And so after getting to know people for a while, you can find some gems. Like I think some really solid, intense friendships, but it takes time to make them.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing with Hong Kong is that it is like it's a long-term city, long-term for savings, long-term for friendships, but the rewards at the end are so much like they're so worth it.
Yeah.
You know, absolutely. And of course, Eureka has your own activities as well at the weekends.
Yeah, we
hiking,
try.
dinners. So I think that's a really good thing to do, to encourage like new teachers to get together and share their experiences with people who are in a similar situation, really.
Right.
Because that's what I like about the expat community is that you're there together for a reason. You share the same experiences, which is a friendship that you can get. It feels just so much more precious than friendships in the UK, for example, you know. So expat friendships are worth the time.
It's so true because you're sharing these new experiences together.
Yes.
And so there's a bond there.
Yes.
Yeah. And we do try to facilitate that with like teacher training workshops or social activities, just so you can meet like-minded teachers with the same heart and do things together. And then we also encourage everyone to don't just cling on each other, expand out, find your people everywhere. But we're here for everyone, like when people need help. Because I understand how it feels to be an expat and to be new to a country or to a city. And yeah, because we have over 100 to 200 teachers every year. And so we're constantly trying to make sure we have a safety net and support for everyone.
That's it. And I think with the social media, someone is only a message away if you need something, so I think what Eureka do is really good with the activities.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That was wonderful interviewing you and just hearing about the differences. I think it'll help our audience a lot.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Of course. If you want to hear more from Kirsty or you have questions for Eureka about moving to Hong Kong or teaching in Hong Kong, send us your questions down in the comments and we will respond to them in our next video. See you next time.
See ya. Bye.